It's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon on the campus of UNC Charlotte in Charlotte, North Carolina, as we get set to kick off the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championships here on BN Sports. The first of 4 games about to get underway as the 8th-seeded Western Kentucky Hilltoppers get set to take on the 5th-seeded Marshall Thundering Herd. Hello, everyone. Sean Fox here at Dottridge Stadium alongside Bethany Doty as we are ready to go. 74 degrees, single elimination Wednesday about to begin. The winners move on. The losers are done for the rest of the season. Jordan Thomas, the right fielder for Western Kentucky, going to lead things off. The Hilltoppers going up against the righty Abby Tolbert. First pitch of the tournament is popped up out of play off to the left. 0-1. Jordan Thomas, Maddie Bowles, and Brittany Vaughn will be the top 3 in the order for head coach Amy Tudor here this afternoon. Rebecca Engelhart, Jordan Vorbrink, Kendall Smith, 4, 5, and 6. Haley Towers, Morgan McElroy, and Kelsey McGuffin round out the lineup. 0-1 pitch is upstairs. Tolbert making her 30th start of the year, 12-10 with a 4.36 ERA, 157 innings of work. 1-1 there inside, 2-1. 76 earned runs allowed on the year, 86 strikeouts over those 157 innings of work, 272 average for the opponents. The winner will move on to face Louisiana Tech at 5 o'clock later on this evening. 2-1 roll foul down the first base line, 2-2. Thomas, one of several Conference USA players named to the all-freshman team yesterday. The year-end superlatives coming out. Maddie Bowles in the on-deck circle, one of those as well. 2-2 from Tolbert upstairs. Ball 3, full count, 3-2.
You know, that's a good pitch to throw her right there. 2-2 count, trying to get her to chase. It's a good pitch.
First payoff pitch of the day. Fouled off to the left side. Didn't look like Thomas meant to right there. Tried to hold up, but didn't do so in time. We'll be joined all weekend by some of our own Charlotte 49ers softball players, like Bethany here to start.
Yes, I'm glad to get to, watch some of the games and see how they do.
Here's a ground ball to second. Alicia Dorazio making the play. 1 gone for Maddie Bowles.
As a pitcher, that's what you want. Ground balls all day, especially with the wind blowing in. Ground balls and line drives, that's all you want from pitchers. That was a great job by her.
And we were just talking about that before we started. Rare for the wind to blow in here at Dottridge Stadium. Just slightly blowing in from center. Not as breezy as it was yesterday. As Maddie Bowles stands in. Off of the glove of Tolbert. Dorazio again, not in time. Bowles able to beat it out. Nice play by Dorazio just to bounce back after the deflection from Tolbert. Western Kentucky has their first base runner with Bowles aboard. First hit of the day. That'll bring up Brittany Vaughn, the Hilltoppers shortstop. These two teams met a couple of weeks ago in Bowling Green, Kentucky, with Western Kentucky taking 2 of the 3. First pitch to Vaughn upstairs for ball number 1. These two teams obviously familiar with each other, just playing a couple of weeks ago. But a lot of times you've got that best of 3 series to play. Here's a shot lifted deep into left. Maddie Marshall going back at the track, at the wall. It's gone.
Wow, what a great lift on that pitch. I mean, she saw it, she drove it. Nothing else you could do with that. That was a great job.
Brittany Vaughn with her 8th home run of the year, RBI 38 and 39. And just like that, Western Kentucky has a quick 2-0 lead.
I mean, there's not much you can do. That ground ball, it deflected off of Ike, Dorazio tried to make the play. I mean, she got on base, and then, Vaughn came up and drove the ball. There's not much you can do as a pitcher, so hopefully we'll see how Ike can react to that.
Rebecca Engelhart standing in, swung and miss First pitch there. 3-game hit streak for Englehart. 3 for 9 with the home run in that series a couple of weeks ago. 220 down the lines here at Daughtridge Stadium. 220 to straightaway center. There's a bunt fouled off to the right. Quickly, 0-2. Well, if you're Western Kentucky, you're coming in as the 8th seed. As of this past weekend, you weren't 100% sure you were going to be in the tournament. And now all of a sudden you come out and you've got a couple of quick runs on the board. 0-2, low and away. Englehart hitting .276 on the year. 7 homers, 25 runs driven in. Western Kentucky 27 and 25 overall. Marshall 25, 28 and 1. Here's a pop-up foul territory left side. Blakely Birch being called off by Grayson Radcliffe, the shortstop, who's there to make the catch up against the fence. 2 gone.
You know, that's a great job by Ike to come back after that home run, throw a pitch, get early in the count, have a pop-up. You know, that's what you want as the defense.
Jordan Vorbrink, the left fielder, will stand in. 3 for 9 in the Marshall series 2 weeks ago back at home. Couple of RBI, couple of hit by pitches as well. First pitch downstairs for ball number 1. Western Kentucky coming in hitting .279 as a team. 3rd best among the 12 Conference USA teams during the regular season. 2nd best among the 8 tournament teams here in Charlotte. Upstairs there, 2-0. Tolbert had some success against Western Kentucky in that series. 1-1 in those 12 innings pitched. Here's a pop-up third base side that'll make its way out of play. 2-1, just underway. First of 4 here at Daughtridge Stadium today and tonight. Middle Tennessee and North Texas will be coming up. Winners of the first 2 games will play again later tonight. 2-1 here, inside nearly hitter, 3-1.
You know, Vorbrook has a great approach. You know, she's looking for something she can drive, especially with the 3-1 count. You know, it's definitely hitter's count, so she's expecting something that she likes and is going to take it that way.
3-1, popped up, shallow left. Marshall coming in to make the catch. And that will retire the side, but a great start for the Hilltoppers here in the first, getting the 2-run homer from Brittany Vaughn. 2 runs on 2 hits, nobody left on base. Western Kentucky 2, Marshall coming up. Back here in Charlotte, bottom of the first coming up. Marshall with a 2-0 deficit to try and figure out. Brittany Vaughn, the 2-run homer there in the top of the first for WKU. Gives Kelsey Ike a 2-0 head start. Alicia Dorazio will lead things off. Taylor McCord, Allie Harrell, all named to all-conference teams yesterday afternoon. Alicia, second team all-conference, as she takes the first pitch in for a strike. 0-1. 350 average for the senior. No homers, 13 RBI in from the left side. Upstairs from Ike, 1-1. A couple of weeks ago, Marshall got to Ike pretty well during that 3-game series. 5 innings for Ike, 5 runs, 4 hits, 4 walks. 1-1's outside, 2-1. So perhaps more important for the offense to give Ike that 2-0 start. But Ike no stranger to success. A no-hitter earlier in the year. 12th no-hitter as the 2-1 is lined foul left side. 12th no-hitter in Western Kentucky history, beating Sacred Heart 1-0. Took extra innings. First extra inning no-hitter. Ike making her 19th start of the year in the circle. Here's foul ball straight back. Still 2-2. 11-9 with a 4.13 ERA. 135 innings of work. 1 strikeout shy of 100 on the year. Opponents hitting .228 against her. Two. Missed low and away. Full count 3-2. Durazio doing what you want a leadoff batter to do, is see as many pitches as possible.
Exactly. Durazio is trying to find a pitch that, she can drive, or with this hard dirt, just try and make it bounce. As a slapper, this is a great field to use that to your advantage.
Payoff pitch popped up. Out of play off to the left. And with Durazio being a slapper, a hard shift in the outfield for Western Kentucky. Jordan Vorbrink very shallow in left. Kelsey McGuffin, the center fielder, towards the gap in left center. Another payoff pitch. Here's that big bounce off of the infield that gets through for a single. You just talked about it as a slapper. Use it to your advantage, and that's exactly what Durazio did.
Exactly. This ground's pretty hard. She got right on top of it, bounced it over the infield's head. They're playing in. It's a great job by leadoff batter.
That'll bring up Taylor McCord, named to Conference USA's first team yesterday. Putting together a .305 average in her final season. 5 homers, 30 runs driven in. Good season overall for McCord. First pitch inside for ball number 1. There's a look at the defensive alignment for Western Kentucky here this afternoon. McCord just 1 for 8. Her 1 a double, which resulted in a run scored against Marshall a couple of weeks ago. Popped up behind the plate. Smith will give a brief chase before she runs out of room. In that series, Western Kentucky hit .356 against Marshall. 32 hits to Marshall's 17, and they used 5 long balls up in Bowling Green. They've already got the one here today. Durazio at first after the leadoff single. Popped up again, back out of play.
That's a good pitch by Ike. She's trying to get her to chase, getting a 1-2 count, trying to find a way to have her get a round ball, roll it up, trying to do something with the defense.
Durazio breaking hard off of the first base bag, too, along with every pitch Ike tosses from the circle. Freshman of the year in Conference USA, Allie Harrell's in the on-deck circle. 1-2 is outside. 2-2, and so far for Marshall, falling behind 2-0 early on, you've got your leadoff hitter aboard, and you've got McCord in the number 2 spot working a deep count here against Ike. 2-2, runner goes, throw down to second, in time. Great throw by Kendall Smith, close play at the second base bag. Third base umpire Mike Thibodeau calling Durazio out, 1 away.
That was a great throw. She got up quick, popped, and threw it right in the great spot. Can't ask for more from her defense from Ike.
Yeah, that certainly helps Ike out. Getting a caught stealing after the leadoff single. But now a full count here to McCord. And that hit her. McCord going to come down to first base. Looked like it got her on the right arm. But now all of a sudden that caught stealing looming a bit large, because now you'd have first and second with nobody out as opposed to the base runner at first with one out. Here comes Allie Harrell, Conference USA's Freshman of the Year. 342 average, 10 homers, 40 runs driven in. Stepping in from the left side. First pitch in for a strike. Harrell had the best weekend at Western Kentucky a couple of weeks ago, going 4 for 9, had a home run, drove in 5, and 4 of those came in the 8-6 series opener. 0-1 outside, 1-1.
Ike's doing a great job of, trying to work early in the count to get strikes and make the defense not have to work as much and see what the offense can do to try and make a mistake.
1-1 there, just outside. 2-1. Troy Kuykendall is our plate umpire here in Game 1. Anthony Small at first. Mike Thibodeau along the third baseline, the three-man umpiring group for Conference USA. 2-1, that hits her. Right on the back of the right thigh, back-to-back hit by pitches by Ike. And now Marshall has first and second with one out. So after the slap single by D'Orazio, the caught stealing coming up big with just the one out up on the board right now. And we talked about earlier, Ike in the series against Marshall, Game 1, as you see the hit by pitch there to Harrell. 2 innings of relief in the opener, 2 hits. Good start there. Brianna Dice standing in. First pitch is upstairs for a ball. But in the second game, Ike going 3 innings, 5 runs, 2 hits with 4 walks. And hit by pitches are basically the same as a walk. It's a free base runner. The 1-0 here is in for a strike. Ike did not pitch at all in the third and final game of that series. Activity in the Western Kentucky bullpen beginning. Shelby Nunn getting loose just in case. Here's a swing and a miss. Dice late right there on the offering from Ike.
It's a good swing there by Dice. She's ready to roll, looking for her pitch, trying to get something to drive, trying to score in that run.
Time called. Going to have a chat here with Brianna Dice. Jen Steele in her first year as head coach for the Thundering Herd. Going over exactly what she wants to do with Dice. Amy Tudor has popped her head out of the first base Western Kentucky dugout, but that was for a quick chat with Anthony Small, the first base umpire. Boy, a lot going on so far. 2-run homer in the top of the first. Marshall has 2 base runners aboard now with 1 out as they try and cut into this deficit. Here's a line shot at a play off to the right. Ball and 2 strikes now here on Dice.
When it comes conference tournament time, everyone tries to play hard and definitely work at scoring early, and that's what Western Kentucky did. They had that 2-run home run.
Here's a shot over top of the first base dugout and out of play. Well, it's tournament time, too, and it's different. Today is single elimination for all 4 games. There's a little bit more pressure there. Obviously, you have to win to keep going to just advance to play again later today at 5 o'clock. 1-2 is popped up again over top of the first base dugout. Still 1-2. Good battle here with Dice, protecting the plate, staying alive, doing everything she can. See a 261 average on the year, 5 homers, 22 RBI. 1-2 is outside. That looked like a good pitch from Ike with Dice knowing she's gone after the last couple of pitches. Dice able to lay off of that one.
That was a good pitch. I mean, she was just trying to get her to chase, see how far, she can try to get her to push to try and swing. It's a good spot.
Upstairs, full count now, 3-2. Marshall not letting the caught stealing of Durazio affect them or slow them down here in this first frame.
Each batter's definitely making Ike work, trying to prove that they're ready here. They're here to win,
Pitch is fouled back. Still 3-2. Ike throwing a good amount of pitches here in this opening inning, as did Tolbert on the other side for Marshall. Nerves, no doubt, on both sides here to start. There's a swing and a miss. That's a big strikeout for Ike. That's her first. Second out of the inning. And now Western Kentucky just 1 out away from getting out of this first inning jam.
That was a great pitch. I mean, not much you could do. Just the way that spun. She definitely tried to take it the other way, but not much you could do once Ike had thrown that pitch by her.
Up and on the outer half of the plate. Tough pitch to hit. Here comes Grayson Radcliffe. First pitch in for a strike at the knees. Radcliffe on the year hitting .213 in her freshman season. Couple of homers, 14 runs driven in. Ike there getting it by Radcliffe quickly, 0-2. Be a great sign here for Ike to settle down after somewhat of a shaky start here in the first inning. Back-to-back hit by pitches. And she does. Called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ike. Retires the side here in the first. No damage done by Marshall. 1 hit, 2 runners left on base, and inning complete. 2-0 Hilltoppers here in Charlotte. Back here in Charlotte, 2-0 as we head to the top half of the second frame. Western Kentucky with the 2-0 lead. Nice job by Kelsey Ike to get out of that first inning jam. Keep Marshall off the board. Tolbert goes back to work. First pitch to Smith out in front. Hammers it foul down the left field line.
That's a great job by Smith. She's taking that inside pitch, driving it that way, trying to wait for another one that she likes right down in her path.
4 for 10 against Marshall a couple of weeks ago with a home run. There's a good pitch from Tolbert on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2.
Tolbert's good about getting early, trying to get those strikes early, help our defense out, looking for a ground ball.
Low and away there, ball 1. 227 average for Smith, 5 homers, 21 runs driven in. And somewhat of a slight advantage Western Kentucky may have is they played here during the regular season on this field against the 49ers. Pitch there just missed downstairs. Haley Towers, Morgan McElroy to follow. If anyone gets aboard, Kelsey McGuffin in the number 9 spot. Here's a ground ball. What a snag by Tolbert. One gone.
That's a great job by Tolbert. Many pitchers, when they see a ground ball, they don't react or can't get the throw right. And, she did it all right. She threw the pitch, made the play. That's a great job.
Now, when a ball gets smoked to you 46 feet away like that, it's mostly reaction, isn't it? Just kind of sticking your glove out and hoping it finds the back of it.
Definitely. You don't expect it to go right into your glove, but, you get lucky, and that's a great job. It's a reaction right there.
Towers standing in, takes a called strike on the outside corner. Towers, .235 average, just her 5th start of the year, 11th game. 4 for 17 at the plate with a double and RBI on the year. Here's a fly ball into center. Tolbert is there. Triboulet. Tolbert, of course, in the circle. 2 gone. And that'll bring up Morgan McElroy.
No, that's a great job by Towers. Sat back on that pitch, tried to drive it just a little bit under it. Does a great job staying back.
Here comes McElroy, 4 for 8. RBI and 3 runs scored in the series against the Herd 2 weeks ago. Good first pitch in for a strike. Tolbert starting to get comfortable. It seems like they're in the circle after that shaky first inning.
I agree. I think if I was Western Kentucky, I'd be looking to swing early in the count. She's been throwing many strikes. Be ready to go.
There you go. You just said it. Trying to swing early, get a pitch to hit. That one's fouled off at the plate. 0-2. McElroy on the year, .202 average in her 2nd season. No homers, 16 runs driven in. See McElroy going to show bunt here with 2 strikes. Take it low and away, 1-2. And if you're head coach Amy Tudor, for not knowing you'd be here just this past weekend, having to play your way into the tournament, great start and with the early 2-0 lead. 1-2 from Tolbert popped out of play. Coming up during each game of the Conference USA Tournament in the 4th inning, we'll talk to both head coaches. We'll talk to Marshall head coach Jen Steele as we get ready to start the top of the 4th, and then we'll talk with Coach Tudor from Western Kentucky in the bottom half of the 4th. 1-2 is downstairs, 2-2.
That's still a great pitch throw with the 1-2 count, trying to get her to chase, see if, she can try and swing through that one. Also, with her trying to get her timing down, that really helps the batter, especially for someone has 2 strikes.
Here's a 2-hopper to short. Radcliffe up with it on to first. Not in time. McElroy beat it out. Infield single keeps the inning alive for McGuffin.
A big hop like that, as a shortstop, you got to come get it, try and get rid of it quick, especially with how quick she is.
Each team had practice time here at Dottridge Stadium yesterday, either late morning, early afternoon. So everyone got some time on this infield as McGuffin takes the first pitch inside for ball number 1. Western Kentucky, no stranger to doing 2-out damage, 93 2-out RBI on the year. That's taking advantage of your entire 3-out inning. The 1-0 pitch is upstairs, 2-0. McGuffin 1 for 8 in the series a couple of weeks ago. The one, she made it count with a long ball. Her 7th home run of the year. Down and in there as McGuffin bounces back out of the way quickly, 3-0. And perhaps a bit of frustration here for Tolbert, getting the first couple of outs quickly, and now the infield single and falling behind McGuffin, 3-0.
Yeah, it seems unusual for Tolbert for the fact that, she's been really pumping strikes and getting ahead early in the count, trying to make the hitters work.
3-0, McGuffin will take a strike. 3-1. It'll be interesting to see what McGuffin may do here with some of the command struggles here for Tolbert just in this one at-bat. 3-1 pitch. Oh, good hack. McGuffin there about belt high, fouling it straight back.
That's a great swing. Again, 3-1 count. You're looking for something you can drive, put in a gap, try and score this run at first.
So with a full count, 3-2, 2 outs here in the second. McElroy will get a head start at first base. There she goes as it's fouled off down the left field line. And just as we had talked about the breeze in the first inning blowing in, which is rare, all of a sudden, it has shifted 180 and is blowing slightly out towards center here now at Daughtridge Stadium. No, McElroy will take off again from first. On another 3-2 from Tolbert. Popped up, shallow center. Caught off. Troubelet there to make the catch and retire the side. So Tolbert gets around the 2-out single by McElroy. 1 hit, 1 runner left on. 2-1 Hilltoppers here in Charlotte. Back in Charlotte at Daughtridge Stadium, 2-0 Western Kentucky as we head to the home half of the second. Marshall will send Blakely Birch, Maddie Marshall, and Eloise Troubelet to the plate. Here against Kelsey Ike. Ran into some issues there in the first, but back-to-back strikeouts got her out of the jam. First pitch to Birch downstairs for ball number 1. 224 average in 47 games during her sophomore season. No homers and 11 RBI. 1-0 there outside, 2-0. Birch 1 for 8, couple of RBI and a run scored.
That's a good spot there.
Here's the 2-0. Big swing and a miss by Birch. 2-1. Had the hitters count. Got a decent pitch to hit there. It just came up empty. Up in the zone there. Swung on and missed. 2-2. Another good pitch from Ike.
That was a great pitch. You know, trying to get Blakely to chase that pitch and see how far she can try and drive that, but swung and miss. Good swing, though.
See if Ike can get into a second inning groove similar to Tolbert. Just missing there with a 2-2 pitch. Full count, 3-2. Back in the first, a leadoff single to Durazio, but then Durazio was cut down at second base on a close play at the bag. Back-to-back hit by pitches in there as well. There's strike 3 called. 3 straight strikeouts now for Ike. 1 gone here in the second.
That's a great job. You know, 3-2 count. Blakely's got to be ready to swing anything close, especially with, you know, time like this, conference play. You got to be ready to go.
Perhaps looking for something else from Ike. But that's 3 quick strikeouts here for Ike as Maddie Marshall stands in. The Marshall left fielder from the right side takes a strike on the inside corner. And now that's 3 straight strikeouts for Ike. If you're in the Marshall dugout, have to be aware of that and know that she's coming right at you in that strike zone. And look for that good pitch to hit. Marshall shows bunt and takes a strike. 0-2. Maddie 0 for 2 with a run scored. Limited action in that series a couple of weeks ago. .207 average on the year. Goes after the 0-2 pitch outside. Chases after it, and that's 4 straight retired by Ike on the strikeout.
Ike's trying to kind of finding her groove. That's a great pitch. You know, that outside trying to get her to chase, had great movement. That's a great job by Ike.
Well, certainly the first 3 hitters of the game for Ike and the last 4 to come to the plate have been completely a night and day difference so far. Eloise Triboulet will take her shot. Take the first pitch low and away for ball number 1. Triboulet, .259 average, a home run, and 8 runs driven in. In from the left side. There's the high chopper. There's that infield we were talking about earlier. Triboulet takes advantage and has a 2-out single here in the second.
Again, that's a great job by the slapper, you know, taking advantage of the dirt, making it bounce over the infield's head. That's a great 2-out.
And that's something I'm sure we'll see a lot of. We've seen that several times already here, just a couple of innings into the first game of the day, where if you can get something and chop it down hard right there in front of home plate, it can take a big enough bounce to where it gets over the infield's head and get you a base hit. Second of the day for Marshall. Jordan Cauliflower in from the left side, takes first pitch upstairs for ball number 1. .346 average for the senior. Earned herself second team honors in Conference USA yesterday afternoon. .346 average, no homers, 9 runs driven in. Smith out with a quick chat to have with Ike. Perhaps the reminder, hey, you struck out the side, or the final 2 batters there in the first. Started this inning with a couple of strikeouts. Go right back to attacking, just like that. Strike on the outside corner.
That's another great pitch by Ike, you know, trying to find a way to get the defense working and ready for a ground ball.
Top of the lineup, Alicia Dorazio in the on-deck circle. If Cauliflower can extend the inning, pitch upstairs there. 2 balls and a strike. 2 outs here in the second. Marshall still trying to find a way to chip into this 2-0 deficit. (2-1). There's a chopper foul, third base side. Saw how close Rebecca Englehart's playing there at third base. You're a third baseman. How in the world do you stand that close to anyone, left or right-handed hitter in the box?
I mean, you know, you just kind of have to trust your hands and react to the ball. Kind of like a pitcher, you know, you never know. You just have to expect it and be on your toes, especially with how fast Cauliflower is. She has to be on her toes.
Quick reflexes, too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just always have to be down and ready.
2-2 there is outside, so full count now. Triboulet here at first base will be off and running. She'll get a head start. Both teams with 2-out singles in this second inning. Downstairs, ball 4, just missed. Down to second goes Triboulet. First walk of the day on either side. The inning will continue now for Dorazio.
Marshall has an advantage having slapper, and then another slapper to come up to the plate, trying to take advantage of the dirt again, trying to get that hop, scoring that run at second.
That's a pretty good combination when you're 8, 9, and then top of the lineup here with Dorazio. Can slap the ball, and that's how Dorazio got her base hit back in the first inning. First pitch here for Dorazio. Swung and missed. A big cut. 0-1. Chance here for Dorazio to get the herd on the board, perhaps with a 2-out base hit. 65 2-out RBI on the year for Marshall. Dorazio has 7 of them. There's a strike. Quickly, 0-2. Now Ike, a strike away from getting out of this second inning jam.
Outfield's definitely expecting her to try and chop it over the infield's head. Definitely scooting in to try and make the play at home.
0-2 there outside. 1-2. 2 hits for Marshall so far. Both of them have been exactly what we've referenced a couple of times. Those hard choppers right into the clay here at Daughtridge Stadium. 1-2 there, just missed. Counts even at 2-2. And if you're Ike, you're ahead in the count 0-2, you can afford to, I don't want to say waste, that's the wrong word, but that's typically what they try and do is get the hitter to chase something out of the zone.
Definitely, and those are really close pitches to have, right on those river line. That's a great spot.
2-2 popped up third base side. That'll make its way out of play. And, of course, as a hitter with 2 strikes, anything close, you obviously go up and protect. You let him go. Got to have a really good eye because then you leave it up into the hands of the umpire. But D'Orazio so far putting together a nice lengthy at-bat here against Ike. Here's another one fouled out of play left side.
That's a great job with that pitch. That low pitch can't really drive, so he fouls it off to have another chance at the plate.
2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 outs here in the Marshall second. 2 Herd base runners aboard. Down by 2.
It's the second time D'Orazio's really worked to have Ike, throw pitches to her and come to her at the plate. That's a great job.
2-2's upstairs, so another full count with 2 outs. Troubelet at second, Cauliflower at first will get a head start. And now you'd certainly think anything to the outfield on a base hit could potentially score Troubelet. Payoff pitch, a little liner, back to Ike on the mound. Ike makes the grab, and that will get her out of the jam. No runs, a hit, 2 runners left on base. We're at the end of 2 here in Charlotte, 2-0 Hilltoppers. Back at Daughtridge Stadium, 2-0 Western Kentucky as we go to the visiting half of the third frame. Sean Fox and Bethany Doty here with you. Top of the lineup, Jordan Thomas going to lead things off. Taking the first pitch upstairs for ball number 1. Thomas grounding out to D'Orazio at second base. Back in the opening inning, 0 for 1 here this afternoon. Tolbert there just missing on the inside corner, 2-0.
That's a good hold by Thomas. It's really hard on those inside pitches not to try and swing, but that wasn't hers, and she's waiting for the right time to swing and try and get on base, start a good rally for their Western Kentucky.
2-0, Thomas checks swing and fouling it off to the left. 2 balls and a strike. Tolbert in her last start over the weekend against Middle Tennessee, 2 2/3 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits in the start. Here's a shot into right. Going back is Cauliflower. She's going to run out of room. That ball is gone.
That's a great job by Thomas. She waited for her pitch. She saw it, and she swung through. That's a great job.
Second home run of the day for Western Kentucky for Thomas. That's her 6th. And it's quickly a 3-0 lead here in the third. Great pitch for Thomas to hit. Middle part of the plate. she didn't miss it. That's big for Western Kentucky.
She definitely got all that ball. That was a great job.
Tolbert has to figure out a way to keep the ball in the park here. Here's a ground ball to second base. Nice play by DeRazio to her left, retiring Maddie Bolds. One gone.
That's a great job by DeRazio. She took a great angle, beat the ball to the spot, flipped it right over to first.
DeRazio covered a lot of ground right there, too, ranging to her left. Setting up just on the edge of the clay grass cutouts over at her second base position. Here comes Brittany Vaughn. She gave the Hilltoppers the 2-0 start on her first inning home run. First pitch here, missing outside for ball number 1. So the Hilltoppers have the offense going here in the first 3 innings. Ike's gotten out of a couple of jams. Seems like if Ike can kind of get on a roll for just an inning or two, that may be enough for Western Kentucky as the fly ball is lifted into right. Cauliflower towards the line making the catch. 2 outs. Tolbert doing a nice job of trying to settle down quickly after the solo home run to Thomas.
Vaughn just missed that ball. It's just under it, stayed on top, maybe got on line drive, but that's still a great swing. Tolbert coming back. That's a good job, good pitch.
Rebecca Engelhardt standing in. 0 for 1. She fouled out to Radcliffe, the shortstop, ranging over into foul territory on the third base side to make the catch. First pitch here is low and away for ball number 1. 3-game hit streak for Engelhardt. The Western Kentucky third baseman standing in from the right side. Middle to the front portion of the box. 1-0's in for a strike, 1-1. 276 average for the junior. 7 homers, 25 runs driven in. Here's a ground ball snagged by Harrell. She'll foot race it to the bag and beat the head first slide of Engelhardt to retire the side. Engelhardt nearly got there in time, but Harrell made the play. The solo home run from Thomas here in the third adds a run on the board. 3-0 Hilltoppers here in Charlotte. It's a picture-perfect afternoon for Conference USA softball here in Charlotte. Back here at Dottridge Stadium, Sean Fox, Bethany Doty with you. 3-0 Western Kentucky as we go to the home half of the third. Marshall will bring the 2-3-4 hitters to the plate, beginning with Taylor McCord, and a good chance for the herd here to try and chip into this 3-run deficit as Ike gets back to work for the Hilltoppers. First pitch there upstairs. McCord hit by a pitch back in the opening inning. First and second, 1 out for Marshall back in that first inning. Ike got back-to-back strikeouts. And then with 2 outs, Marshall had a 2-out single as a line shot out into left here. Vorbrink there to make the catch. But an inning ago, that 2-out single by Truboulet and the walk to Cauliflower had first and second with 2 outs. Marshall has left 4 on so far. Here comes first baseman Allie Harold. Made that nice play there to in the top half of the third. She, too, hit by a pitch in the opening inning. Conference USA's Freshman of the Year takes the first pitch downstairs at her second at-bat for ball number 1. 342 average, 10 homers, 40 RBI, in what's always a tough transition from high school to college softball, especially at this level. Nearly the same pitch downstairs, ball 2.
That's a great take by Harold. You know, she's waiting for something she likes, trying to drive it, get something started for here for Marshall.
There's a strike in at the knees, 2-1. Just how difficult can it be to come from high school softball all over the country and you come into the Division I level here at Conference USA?
I mean, it's definitely different. You know, you have to grow up a little bit. You have to be able to play ball, be able to take, you know, different things of playing and trying to learn how to handle, you know, failure. And it's hard at this level.
Speed of the game is faster. You know, criticism from coaches are different. Learning a new coaching staff and teammates. 2-1 here, just missed inside. Ike wanted that strike call. Looked pretty good, but now Harrell has the count in her favor at 3-1. Marshall needs a run, needs a base runner. 3-1, line down the left field line. That's a fair ball and going to roll to the fence. Harrell around first. There's that hit Marshall needs. It's a one-out double. And another runner in scoring position here for the Herd.
That was a great piece of hitting by Harold. You know, stayed through the ball, saw it all the way, took it all the way to the line. That's a great job.
The left-handed hitter taking it to the opposite field, too. 200 feet down that left field line. Here's a look at it. Pitch on the outer half, and Harold just took it the other way. Like you said, great piece of hitting.
Yeah, she definitely stayed through that ball.
Harrell will head back to the dugouts. Going to have a pinch runner here for Marshall. Abigail Estrada going to come out to second base and run here for Harrell. All-important first run. Marshall's got to try and get some momentum going. They had their chances, as we talked about in the first and second inning. Just missed out on that one key hit needed. And maybe the one-out double here by Harrell can get Marshall rolling. Here comes Brianna Dice. 0 for 1. She was a strikeout victim back in the first. Goes after the first pitch there. Tips it into the mid of Smith behind the plate. That's Marshall's first extra base hit. 3 now on the afternoon for the Herd. 0-1 there. Dice just kind of reaching after that one and coming up empty, 0-2.
It's hard not to, you know, try and swing early, especially with a double and trying to move her over and get her to score.
Dice getting a piece of the 0-2 there to stay alive. 261 average, 5 homers, 22 runs driven in. Western Kentucky outfield, at least Jordan Thomas and Wright just shifted closer to the foul line with the 2-strike count here on Dice. Fouled off to the right side. The Dice staying alive, 0-2, 1 out here in the third. North Texas and Middle Tennessee are 2:30 scheduled contest here at Dottridge Stadium. The winner of this game we'll see later on taking on Louisiana Tech at 5 o'clock. Dice again, another one foul off to the right.
She's doing a great job. She's trying to, you know, work Ike and show that she's ready and she's not trying to take that strikeout again. She's trying to fight anything close, put it in play, move the runner.
Another 0-2 from Ike. There's a line shot knocked down by McElroy. Nice play at second base. Dropping down to both knees to keep the ball in front of her. Got the leather on it and puts a second out up on the board.
That was a great play by McElroy. You know, she stayed down, made sure to get the out. No 2 outs. Try and help out her pitcher. That's a great job.
That's a nice job by Dice, too, to hit the ball to the right side, which gives Estrada running at second base a chance to move to third. It gives yourself a couple of other options to try and get that run across. Time called here. Head coach Amy Tudor for Western Kentucky going to go out and have a chat here with Ike. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Hilltoppers. 0-3-0 and 4 runners left on base for Marshall so far. Trying to think of what Marshall may have been able to do differently in the first or second inning, and they had some chances. Ike just in the circle got those strikeouts in the first inning. And I think that was a big momentum boost for her and the Hilltoppers on defense so far.
Definitely, it gave them confidence. It showed that, that her defense is behind her and she's ready to throw the rock and throw the ball.
Radcliffe caught out on strikes back in the first. Takes first pitch, low and away for ball number 1.
Usually by your second time through, you relax, kind of the nerves kind of go away. You're ready to hit and try and score this runner.
There's a foul ball right off the mitt of Smith behind the plate. You obviously have to put the ball in play to give yourself a shot. A Western Kentucky error here can get the first run across. Wild pitch or pass ball. And that goes back to that at-bat Dice just had with hitting the ball to the right side and giving Estrada that chance to get to third.
That definitely was a great at-bat. Anything that way, trying to move the runner.
Check swing foul off to the right. And again, Ike, we've seen this in the first 2 innings, now 3 here. Little bit of a jam, but somehow she's maneuvering her way through the inning and finding herself 1 strike away from getting out of yet another mini jam.
She's definitely starting to find her groove, and her defense is definitely behind her, backing her up, letting her know that they're there.
Here's a little floater to the right side. Foot race by Bolds. A slide, not in time. Radcliffe beat it out, and there's that break. Give an assist to Dice with her at bat to move Estrada to third, allowing her to score right there on the infield single by Radcliffe.
I agree. Without Dice moving over that runner to third, couldn't have had that hit right there to score in. It's a great job.
See if we get a look at it there on replay. Bolts off the bag there at first. Really was about the only one to have a shot. The ball wouldn't hit all that hard. I don't think McElroy at second would have had a play. But now the inning continues here for Blakely Birch. Now let's see here. Kind of right off the end of the bat.
It was just enough that, she could run it out and beat it through the bag. Head first dive.
Big run there for Marshall to just get on the board. And like you said, maybe that'll help them relax a little bit more. Pitch outside here. 2-0 now on Birch. 0 for 1 with a strikeout to start the second. And if you're Marshall, you have to feel like we're right there. We just need something to go our way over the first couple of innings. And here in the third, it does. 2-0 is up and away. 3-0. Perhaps, again, some frustration from Ike. And here's the senior Brittany Vaughn from shortstop coming in to have a chat with her just to calm her down for a few seconds, have her take a couple of breaths, and then try and battle back here against Birch. Heads up play there by the veteran shortstop for Western Kentucky. 3-0 pitch. Outside, ball 4. Close, looked good, but on 4 straight, Birch draws the walk. Now it's first and second with 2 outs as the Herd try to get a little rally going in the third frame.
Well, that's why they always say, 3-0 count, you're taken. I mean, you never know what the umpire's going to call, and that was a close one, but, he still called it a ball and got a rally going still for Marshall.
Pitchers have to adjust to the strike zone just as the hitters do at the plate. Jen Steele chatting with plate umpire Troy Kuykendall right now. Looks like we may have somebody come off the bench here. And looks like grabbing a bat is Wiley Glover. Glover going to stand in from the left side. 5'3" freshman out of Valley Center, Kansas. Going to hit right here in the 7th spot of the lineup for Maddie Marshall. First pitch in for a strike. Glover in 35 games putting together a 246 average. No homers and 4 runs driven in.
That's a good take by Wiley. 4 balls in a row. Trying to see if you can throw another one.
0-1 there just downstairs. 1-1. Glover, too, coming off the bench. Wanting to see a couple of pitches in from the left side, which, of course, gives her another step or two advantage to get to the first base bag. 1-1's popped up out of play off to the left. Ike again 1 strike away. And now in this third inning, you start to think about if Ike can get out of here with just the 1 run given up, with Marshall getting that first run across and some momentum building. 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Ike will get herself out of the inning on the 5th strikeout of the day, but Marshall gets on the board here in the third. 1 run on a couple of hits, 2 runners left on base. 3-1 Western Kentucky here in Charlotte. Back here at Dottridge Stadium, 3-1 Western Kentucky. We're going to head over to the third base dugout and have a quick chat with Marshall head coach Jen Steele. Coach, had some chances there in the first and second inning and finally were able to scratch across a run there in the third.
Yeah, I think we're having really good at-bats. Right now it's just going to be capitalizing once we have runners on base. So our at-bats are good. We're going to have to find a way to get the timely hit.
What do you like so far from Tolbert in the circle for you?
Well, Tolbert's a competitor. She's been our horse all year long. She's a great story. She threw 1 inning combined her freshman and sophomore seasons, and so she's carried us this year. She's our best shot at going and getting this thing, so we're going to stick with her as long as we can.
Awesome. Thanks for the time, Coach. Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
That's head coach Jen Steele in her first season with the Herd. Coming up in the bottom half, we'll talk with Amy Tudor over in the third base Western Kentucky dugouts. 2-run ball game here as we go to the fourth. Jordan Vorbrink going to lead things off, number 5 hitter in the lineup for Western Kentucky as Tolbert does get back to work. Downstairs for ball number 1. Vorbrink 0 for 1, flew out to Maddie Marshall and left to end the first. Vorbrink 3 for 9 in that series a couple of weeks ago. Lines one down the third base line, but foul. Marshall will head to the corner to retrieve it. Middle Tennessee right now in the batting cages back behind the left field wall, getting ready for their 2:30 contest coming up here against North Texas. That's the 6 and 7 seed matchup. It'll be the first of 2 games for one of those 2 teams as well. There's off-speed pitch upstairs. 2-1. Kendall Smith, Haley Towers to follow. Trying to get the run back that Marshall just pushed across there in the fourth. 2-1 downstairs, 3-1 now. If you're Tolbert, you need one of those shutdown innings to where your offense just got you a run. Now you got to try and come out and put a goose egg up, trying to keep that momentum in your third base dugout.
Forbrink's doing a great job waiting for her pitch, trying to get on base. It's a great walk.
Does right there, taking the 3-1 low and away. So the leadoff runner is aboard. Second straight inning, Western Kentucky has had the leadoff man on. Back in the third, Thomas made a quick trip around the bases on a solo blast to right. Here comes Kendall Smith, the catcher. Smoked one back up the middle in the second inning. Tolbert stuck her glove out and got it. First pitch airs downstairs for ball number 1. We approach the halfway point here of this opening contest in the Conference USA Softball Championship. May see some strategy take place a little bit more. 1-0 is in for a strike, 1-1.
That's a great pitch and a great take. You're looking for something, fastball, not really something you have to sit back on a change. So Smith does a great job of sitting back, taking that pitch.
Here's the 1-1 now, showing bunt and fouling it back. Smith trying to push the ball into fair territory, and talking about strategy just a second ago, I thought that's what Smith may try and do right off the bat. Head coach Amy Tudor giving her a chance to perhaps swing away, put something in play.
No, Tolbert might be trying to throw something up, try and have Smith try and pop up a bunt if she goes for it.
Pitch in the dirt, and it gets away from McCord behind the plate. Just as good as a bunt as Smith moves down to second base on the wild pitch. Now that gives Western Kentucky a nice opportunity here in this top half of the fourth inning. Try and get that run back. Marshall just scored. Nice heads-up piece of base running there by Vorbrink. As soon as that ball hit the dirt, she was off.
That was a great read. That was.
2-2 pitch is fouled off towards the Marshall dugout. Count will stay the same, 2-2. And similar to what we saw with Brianna Dice's at-bat an inning ago from the right side, here the main goal for Smith, just try and hit something to the right side and move Vorbrink over to third. Here's a shot into left field. Stopping at third base is Vorbrink. All right, if something to the right side doesn't work to move the base runner, just line one into left for a base hit.
That was a great at-bat by Smith. She found a way to move over the runner to second to third, but still managed to have no outs.
Of course, with nobody out in the inning, Vorbrink stopping at third base. Certainly no need to run yourself into the first out there at home plate. And now that brings up Haley Towers, the DP here this afternoon for Western Kentucky. Sent a fly ball to Triboulet in center back in the second. And something now is a fly ball. Can get that run back. First pitch there in at the belt for a strike.
I agree. Anything deep fly ball, anything up the middle would work to try and score that runner.
We'll keep our eye on Smith here at first base, too. You're up by 2. See if Western Kentucky, the bunt will work. The run comes in, the throw to first, not in time. Now the throw gets down the right field line. Everyone going to move up an extra 60 feet. 4-1 Hilltoppers with a big inning brewing here in the fourth.
That was a great bunt, on your toes. Wasn't expecting the squeeze play. Managed to score the run and had the overthrow. You never know what to expect in conference play.
Absolutely. Tough play by McCord behind the plate. Watch his bunt. Just a few feet perfectly up the first baseline. McCord's throw from her knees off of the glove of Dorazio and down the right field line. So one error there on McCord's throw. Towers should get an RBI for the bunt. I would imagine a bunt single. We'll wait and see how they score it.
That was a great bunt, great pitch. Took that outside pitch, laid it down, did her job.
It is a bunt single, an RBI for Towers. Here comes Morgan McElroy now. She had a base hit back in the second. First pitch is downstairs for ball number 1. And now if you're Tolbert and Marshall down again by 3, Second and third, nobody out. Got to find a way to minimize the damage here. Try and keep yourself in this ball game, not let things get out of hand. 1-0 pitch downstairs, 2-0. Both Tolbert and Ike on the other side for Western Kentucky have wanted the low strikes called. And plate umpire Troy Kuykendall not stretching the zone downstairs here so far this afternoon, which is fine. I think all coaches and players just want it to be consistent, which it has been. There's a pitch right above the belt for a strike, 2-1. That's what you want as a hitter, right?
Definitely. I mean, consistency is definitely something you want, both pitching and hitting, to rely on the umpire, just have some sort of zone.
2-1. There's another bunt. This one comes back up and hits McElroy's bat outside of the box, so McElroy will be out on the play, and that's a big break for Marshall, getting the first out on the board.
That was. I mean, Marshall definitely needed something to go their way, and it did. Hit it, double hit out of the box, something that they really needed.
Well, as we've been talking about with the hard infield, we've seen the Slappers come up with a couple of hits, bouncing it out in front of home plate. There, kind of the negative effect. It bounced straight up and got McElroy's bat for the second time. Kelsey McGuffin will get a shot here. First pitch is down and in for ball number 1. McGuffin sent a fly ball to Triboulet in center, back to end the second. Big spot in this ball game here in the fourth inning. Momentum currently with Western Kentucky. And that one's going to hit her on the knee. The back leg on the right knee, and now she's going to have to stay in the box. Plate umpire Troy Kuykendall saying she didn't move or attempt to get out of the way.
That's a hard call as an umpire. Sometimes as a batter, you don't know. I mean, you can't, it comes so fast, you can't move, and I feel like that was the case. Took it off the knee, now you got to stay in the box.
I'm with you there. 46 feet away. You don't know where the pitch is going. We talked about just about every pitch in softball has movement on it one way or the other. And when it hits you on the back of the knee, or the back leg there on the knee, we'll see here. Well, Tolbert's defense, McGuffin didn't really do a whole lot to try and get out of the way.
She didn't, as you saw in the replay, she didn't really move at all.
Here's a fly ball deep into center. Triboulet at the track, at the wall, sticks her glove up and brings it back in. It gets a run in for Western Kentucky, but that saves 2 more on a heck of a grab by Triboulet at the wall.
That was a great play by Triboulet. She kept a home run, and that was also a great hit by McGuffin. She had an RBI. That's what she needed. Got the job done.
Smith tags up and scores to make it a 5-1 ball game. Time called here is Jen Steele, head coach of Marshall, pops her head out of the dugout. Here's a shot right over the plate, straight away center field, and Triboulet right there, kind of a snow cone grab too. We're talking inches away from being a 3-run homer, but that could potentially be a game-saving type catch for Triboulet, as it looks like Marshall is going to head to the bullpen here. Kaylee Williamson has made her way in from the left field bullpen for the Herd. For Tolbert, she goes 3 2/3 here. 5 runs, 6 hits, 1 walk, no strikeouts. Tolbert making a mistake pitch there in the first inning to Brittany Vaughn that resulted in the 2-run homer. And the first run came in on Bolts. If you remember back in that first inning, that was a base hit back up the middle, a ground ball back up the middle. It deflected off of Tolbert's glove ever so slightly. Durazio nearly finished off the play, but couldn't do so quickly enough. So that right there is the difference between 2 outs and the bases empty and a 2-run homer for Western. Solo home run for Thomas there in the third, and then the troubles here in the fourth.
Yeah, Western Kentucky definitely has the momentum. They're putting the ball in play hard, working hard to find ways on base.
Williamson coming in for the 34th time this season for the Herd. 8-9 with a 3.89 ERA. 100 innings pitched. 56 runs earned. little over a hit per inning, 64 strikeouts. But it seems like Western Kentucky has been able to time Tolbert up pretty well. Here's a ground ball over to second. Durazio making the play, and how about that for Williamson? Don't even finish her line before she gets the job done. Western Kentucky adds 2 on 2 hits. They lead at 5-1 here in Charlotte.
Yep. Yes. Okay.
Back here at Dottridge Stadium, 5-1 Western Kentucky. We'll go down to the field and have a quick word with head coach Amy Tudor. Coach, for getting in this past weekend and now getting off to this kind of start, what do you think so far?
Yeah, I think we picked good pitches to swing at, and that's helped us out offensively. And Ike's been doing her job in the mound. We've been playing great defense behind her.
That was my next question. Ike's been in trouble a couple of times, but she's been able to get her way out of it. And so far, just the 1 run. What does she need to do to get you the rest of the way?
She needs to keep competing and working hard and getting ahead of batters early. I think that's the key for her. Throwing strikes and letting her defense play a little bit.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Good luck rest of the way.
Thank you.
There's head coach Amy Tudor in her 5th year here with the Hilltoppers. Yeah, how about that? For going into last weekend, not knowing if you were going to be in the conference tournament, to all of a sudden coming out with 5 runs to get a 5-1 lead as the 8th seed.
They're definitely proving that they want to be here and that they deserve to be here. It's a great job at Western Kentucky coming out early.
Marshall back to work as Trubele shakes her head no as she goes after the first pitch. Nothing in 1. Trubele, Cauliflower, and Durazio. 8-9-1, part of the lineup for Marshall here in the bottom of the 4th. 0-1 is outside, 1-1. Want to thank both Jen Steele of Marshall and Amy Tudor of Western Kentucky for taking a couple of minutes to chat with us there. And we'll do that all throughout the tournament. 1-1 is downstairs, 2-1. Tribole, one of those slappers who took advantage of the hard surface here at Dottridge Stadium, bouncing one right up the middle. Back in that 2nd inning, 1 of 4 hits now for the Herd. Here's another chopper, grabbed by Vaughn at short, throw to first, not in time. Tribole with her 2nd hit of the day. The Herd have the leadoff man aboard.
That's a great job by Tribole again. I mean, with the bounce, got it up enough, even though the shortstop tried to make the play. She ran through the bag and was safe.
Vaughn did everything she could at shortstop. She had to jump up in the air, actually, and bring it back down. The Tribole with the speed, the center field are able to beat it out. Here comes Cauliflower, and we talked about this in that 2nd inning. 8-9-1 part of the lineup coming up, all slappers, all with that ability. First pitch to Cauliflower outside for ball number 1.
Especially with leadoff on base, you know, you're expecting Cauliflower to maybe lay down a bunt or a soft slap, try and move the runner and also make it safe at first.
Engelhardt about halfway down the 3rd baseline for Western. Here's a shot back to the mound, a little underhand flip by Ike. The sacrifice by Cauliflower moves Tribole down to 2nd base. 1 out now for Durazio at the top of the lineup.
That was a great job by Cauliflower. Had a nice soft slap, had to make the pitcher work and also throw the ball to first, move the runner.
Durazio will start the third time through the lineup for Marshall. 1 for 2 on the day. First pitch in for a strike. She had one of those choppers up the middle back in the first inning. And then the line out to Ike in the circle back in the second. Second team all-conference member announced yesterday. Upstairs there, ball 1. Well, something Marshall has to figure out here over the final few innings. They're just 1 for 6 with runners on this afternoon and 1 for 6 with, more importantly, runners in scoring position.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely have had people on. They just got to find a way to execute and bring them on in home.
There's a strike into Durazio. Ball and 2 strikes now on the second baseman. 2 for 10 in that series a couple of weeks ago, Bowling Green. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's number 6 for Ike.
That's a great job by Ike. Coming back with a single and then a slap bunt and then striking out. That's a great way to get 2 outs, get the momentum back in Western Kentucky's way.
Get a replay here. Pitch up in the zone. Durazio unable to lay off. That's 6 strikeouts for Ike. She's 1 away from tying her career high. Here's a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 here on McCord. 0 for 1 hit by a pitch. And the line out to left this afternoon. Outside there for a ball. 1-1.
It's a good pitch by Ike. You know, it's hard to lay off. That pitch that, you know, was outside and had a good spin on it, but, you know, it's hard to lay off those, and she did a great job.
There's another one outside, 2-1. Those 7 strikeouts for Ike came back on March 10th at Southern Miss. Western Kentucky sweeping both games of that Saturday doubleheader down in Hattiesburg. Pitch upstairs there, 3-1. Shelby Nunn back up and throwing in the Western Kentucky bullpen down this right field line. Nunn up back in the first inning and has been tossing off and on ever since. Ike's been able to dodge a couple of bullets here so far. Here's a foul ball straight back to the screen, 3-2.
That's a great swing by McCord, you know, with a 3-1 count, hitter's count, trying to drive in that run. It's a great swing.
Again, we've talked about it a couple of times. Got to be frustrating for Marshall just a little bit to know you've had your chances so far. Just need to try and find a way to string some hits together. Still time here this afternoon. Here's a pop-up out into right towards the line and back a bit is Thomas, who's there to squeeze it and retire the side. No damage done after the leadoff chopper by Triboulet. 1 hit, 1 runner left on base. After 4, 5-1 Western Kentucky here in Charlotte. Top of the fifth we go here at Dottridge Stadium in Charlotte. A beautiful 74-degree afternoon here to start. First of 4 games coming your way here on BN Sports. Maddie Bold ready to lead things off for Western Kentucky. Off speeds in for a strike. 0-1. Kaylee Williamson needed just 1 pitch to get Marshall out of the 4th inning there.
Yeah, she did a great job coming off the bench, ready to go.
Here's a liner over to short, scooped up by Radcliffe, and on to first. That's exactly what you need if you're Williamson in the Marshall defense. Get a quick out, try to get 3 quick outs, and turn things back over to your offense. Brittany Vaughn to the plate. Vaughn got the afternoon off to a great start for Western Kentucky. 2-run homer in the top of the 1st inning. Flew out to Cauliflower in right, back in the 3rd. First pitch here, missing outside for ball number 1.
That's a great job by Vaughn. You know, she's waiting for her pitch, having an approach at the plate, looking for something that she likes to and wants to drive.
Western trying to hold on to face Louisiana Tech later on at 5 o'clock this afternoon. Marshall trying to find a way to rally and make a date with the Lady Texters themselves. Here's a strike, 1-1.
It's a good take by Vaughn. You know, something slow like that, it's hard to stay back. She did a great job, wasn't something she wanted.
She led the Hilltoppers, hitting .538 in that series against Marshall a couple of weeks ago. Here's a little floater into right. Dorazio, nice play, going back onto the grass to haul it in. 2 gone.
Like I said earlier, you know, it's a great job by Williamson. Come in, you know, get 2 quick outs, have her defense working, and then go and make our offense start to get a rally going.
Of the 4 previous innings at the plate for Western Kentucky, the only frame they did not score in was the 2nd inning. So important for Williamson here to try and get this 5th inning to be that 2nd scoreless frame. Trying to push a bunt there is Englehart, coming up empty. She's 0 for 2. Foul out to Radcliffe at short back in the 1st. And then a ground ball over here to first. Harrell made a nice play off the bag. 0-1 pitch. Chopper foul over into the Marshall dugout. 0-2.
That's a great pitch there by Williamson. Trying to get ahead in the count, make the batters work, see where she throws this next one.
Western Kentucky finishing 5th in the East Division at 10-13 this season. But you wouldn't know that looking at the scoreboard here so far. 0-2 is outside 1-2. East and West Divisions, top 3 teams get in automatically, and then the final 2 wild card spots go to the 2 teams with the best records. There's some interesting storylines I'll talk about with the other teams as they come up. Here's a pop-up behind the plate, backing out of play. Louisiana Tech coming up in our 5 o'clock game to face the winner of this one. A half game in the standings away from not even having to play here on Wednesday. UAB able to take the top spot in the West Division. Here's a chopper out in front of the plate. Called dead over here by first base umpire Anthony Small. That'll send Englehart back to the plate. Had some backspin on it. Coming right out of the box there from Englehart.
She's had a really good at-bat. You know, she sat back on that changeup, fouled it off, try and get, you know, another pitch, another chance at the plate. Took that one. She's had a really good at-bat.
Ball and 2 strikes. Englehart getting a second chance at it here against Williamson. Up and away, 2-2. Williamson's faced 3 hitters since coming in. She's gotten 2 ground balls and a pop-up to second. A fantastic job for Kaylee Williamson right now. Kind of stopped the bleeding for Marshall. Here's a liner into left. Charging in is Marshall, who makes the grab to retire the side. Make it 4 straight retired by Williamson. The first 3 up, 3 down inning of the day. 5-1 Western Kentucky here in Charlotte. Back here at Daughtridge Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. First of 4 here this afternoon, the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championship. Marshall with Western Kentucky the 5-1 lead. I guess you could say 5-1 deficit for Marshall. Kelsey Ike back in the circle. Allie Harrell to lead things off. Takes a strike. Quickly 0-1. This is the 5th straight start for Ike with at least 5 strikeouts. And she has 6 through 4 innings and is 1 away from tying her career high. Outside, 1-1. Harrell got things going in the 3rd inning with a 1-out double to the opposite field down that left field line. Estrada came in to run for and ended up scoring the only run so far for the Herd. There's a pitch just inside. Ball 2. Time called here by Smith to go out and have a chat with Ike.
Here for Marshall, their approach needs to be finding ways to get on base. If it takes walk or get hit by pitch, base hits, they need to find ways to get runners in scoring position, execute, and find ways to score them.
Absolutely. Now you're down to your final 9 outs at the plate offensively. Western Kentucky still has 6 more to go themselves. 2-1 to Harrell. Downstairs. Close, but we've seen it called a ball most of the afternoon. 3-1 now. Hitters count here for Harrell.
Again, Harrell's approach is probably going to be something close, but it's something she has to like.
A bit up in the zone, fouled straight back by Harrell. I guess if you're going to miss to somebody like Harrell, you better miss up in the zone.
I agree. That was a hard swing. She was trying to definitely drive that one.
3-2 pitch. Grounder over to short. Vaughn up with it. On to first in time. The all-important leadoff hitter retired here in the Marshall 5th.
That's a great job by Ike. She came back from a 3-1 count, found a way to get a ground ball and get the leadoff out.
Brianna Dice will stand in. All you'll see in the box score after this game is a 4-3 ground out. But in that 3rd inning, that ground out was pivotal in getting Estrada over to 3rd, which allowed her to eventually score. Swung and missed there by Dice. 0 for 2, strikeout back in the 1st, that ground out in the 3rd. Oh, 1 there, fouled straight back. Dice quickly in an 0-2 hole.
She's definitely one of those that early in the count, she's ready to go. She's ready to try and get hit early, trying to find a way to be a base runner.
0-2 from Ike upstairs for ball number 1. Going back a couple innings ago, chance for Ike to possibly see if Dice will chase after a pitch or 2 out of the zone. Here's a liner into right, but it's right at Thomas, who's there to make the grab. 2 gone.
Dice's approach the past 2 times up at bat were really good. She waited, trying to find her pitch. She battled with 0-2 counts both times, found a way to put it in play. Just couldn't get the win and try and get on first.
Here comes Grayson Radcliffe. 1 for 2, RBI infield single back in the 3rd. Beating Maddie Bowles in a foot race to the first base bag, which allowed Estrada to score the run. There's a good strike from Ike, 0-1.
Ike does a great job, like we said earlier, of getting ahead in the count. She gives her defense some confidence, show that she's ready. She's ready to
0-1 downstairs, 1-1. And so far, a bit of sweet revenge for Ike, as we talked at the top of the broadcast. She struggled in the series against Marshall a couple of weeks ago. Just 5 innings pitched, 5 runs, 4 hits. Here's a pop-up over here towards our tent first base side. And it's over top of our tent. At a play. Bolds and McElroy giving chase here into foul territory. That's the first scare we've had over here.
I know. At least it wasn't a line drive. We were worried about that, too.
Yeah. Pop-up like that is okay. Line drives, and we have both gone over our bailing out plan over here this afternoon. 1-2. Here's a liner into the gap in right center. Diving in McGuffin. She can't scoop it.
That's a great effort by McGuffin. She kept it in front, laid out, tried to help out her pitcher. Just couldn't get the catch.
McGuffin fortunate to get some leather on that ball, because if it takes any sort of a bounce over that glove, it's rolling to the fence 220 feet away. And Radcliffe is at least at second base, maybe even third. But the inning will continue now for Blakely Birch. By the way, Radcliffe, that's her second hit of the day. She's got 2 of the 6 here for Marshall.
Marshall's done a great job of getting on base with 2 outs, so getting the rally going, trying to get some momentum built. They just can't seem to find a way to get that run in.
Right, you can put rallies together with 2 outs. Obviously, it's a lot tougher when you don't have an extra out or 2 to spare. But for Marshall right now, anything across the board, doesn't matter how many outs are up there. Try and cut into this 4-run deficit. Pitch outside. Smith thought about a snap throw from behind the plate. 1-1 here on Birch. She drew a walk back in the third after being called out on strikes in the second. Up and away, 2-1. Birch now 1 for 9 this season against Western Kentucky. Smith going back out to have a chat with Ike. Don't forget, coming up approximately 2:30, North Texas and Middle Tennessee. Second game of the day. Marshall or Western Kentucky will be back to face Louisiana Tech at 5 o'clock. And then the winner of North Texas and Middle Tennessee coming up next will be back tonight at 7:30 to face FIU here at Dottridge Stadium under the lights. Here's a foul ball off to the right side. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Ike a strike away from getting out of the inning.
She's done it all day. You know, she's got herself in some jams, but found a way to go ahead and win and get her team back into hit.
Faced 5 hitters in the first and second innings, 6 in the third, 4 in the fourth, and now 4 in the fifth, tying her career high with her 7th strikeout to end the inning. 1 hit, 1 runner left on. You're watching the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championships on BN Sports. Top of the 6th inning, about to begin here at Dottridge Stadium. Western Kentucky looking to build onto their 5-1 lead as Williamson delivers first pitch inside for ball number 1. Williamson, since coming in, has gone 4 up, 4 down out of the Herd bullpen.
She's done a great job coming in for Marshall, throwing strikes, getting outs, doing her job.
Jordan Vorbrink leading it off. Outside ball 2. Flew out to Maddie Marshall and left to end the first inning. Led off the 4th with a walk and ended up scoring one of those 2 runs. 4th run of the day there for Western. Ahead here, 2-0. Takes it inside, 3-0.
That was a close one there. I thought he was going to call that one.
2-0 hitters count, too. Vorbrink letting the inside offering go. She will take a strike here, 3-1. And, of course, with the 4-run lead, you can kind of relax in the box, be patient, and look for your one pitch, wherever your one pitch may be.
Most definitely, Volbrick's definitely sitting there waiting for something she likes.
Here's a chopper to Harrell at first. She's going to stick her glove out and tag Vorbrink running by for out number 1 here in the 6th inning.
That was a smart play by Harrell, Volbrick's pretty fast, had enough chop on it. The tag was probably the smarter play than trying to beat it to the bag.
Yeah, you never know. You flip to the bag. It could easily hit Vorbrink running by, or something can slip. If you can just take care of it with the tag, absolutely right. Here's Kendall Smith going after the first pitch and coming up empty, 0-1.
Even with that changeup that Williamson threw, Kendall Smith had a great swing on that. She still had her hands back, tried to swing through it. She didn't slow her bat down at all.
She had a base hit to left back in the 4th inning. You saw Taylor McCord stick her glove out from behind the plate and tell Williamson that was a good pitch. Good location, but called a ball. It's 1-1. First 3 back in the 4th inning to the plate for Western Kentucky, able to reach and get that 2-run inning going. 1-1 here is low and away, 2-1. Haley Towers had an RBI single back in that 4th inning on her bunt. A little squeeze action going on for the Hilltoppers. That pitch is downstairs, quickly 3-1. Williamson falling behind her second straight batter.
You can tell Western Kentucky's definitely taking their time in the box, relaxed, looking for something they like to try and get on base to keep their momentum going.
3-1 is in at the knees for a strike. Full count now, 3-2. Williamson in the circle just needs to keep doing what she's doing for Marshall. Finding a way to retire each and every Hilltopper so far that's come to the plate. Here's a pop-up shallow towards the line. Cauliflower into foul territory, makes the grab. Going a long way to track down that fly ball, 2 gone.
Cauliflower did a great job reading it off the bat, getting a good jump on the ball, and making the play.
Now, at the start of the broadcast, we talked about the breeze blowing in. 2 or 3 innings later, it was slightly blowing out. Now it's turned around and blowing back in here this afternoon.
Your best bet as a hitter is probably to try and hit something hard on the ground or a line drive if you want to try and get on base.
First pitch to Towers is in for a strike, 0-1. She had an RBI with that bunt single back in the 4th. Error mixed in on that play as well. Only error of the ball game we've seen so far. As the 0-1 pitch misses downstairs, 1-1.
Western Kentucky isn't holding back. Even if they have 2 outs, they've been trying to put down a bunt or try and shake things up to keep Marshall on their toes as defenders.
1-1's in for a strike. Good pitch right on the outside corner. 1-2. Now Williams a strike away from working her second straight 1-2-3 inning. Little too far out there. 2-2. But again, another one of those pitches to see if Towers would go out there and kind of wave at and chase.
Majority of the time as hitters, when you have 2 strikes, anything that's close or you think is close, you're swinging. So that was a great job holding back.
2-2. Chopper over to third. Birch across the diamond, and Williamson has gone 7 up, 7 down. Back-to-back 1-2-3 frames. We're off to the bottom of the 6th. Marshall down by 4 here to Western Kentucky. time as Maddie Marshall takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball number 1.
Like we said earlier, if we're Marshall, we're finding ways to get on base, trying to get walks, trying to extend the innings, trying to find a way to get runners in scoring position.
Downstairs 2-0. Marshall's left 8 runners on base through the first 5 innings.
That's tough. I mean, it's hard sometimes to string hits together, and I think that's what's happening to Marshall. They're getting them on base, getting base hits, but can't string them together.
Absolutely, and a credit to Ike in the circle for Western to dodge all of those bullets. Strike here on the outer half, 2-1. It'll be Maddie Marshall, Eloise Triboulet, and Jordan Cauliflower. Bottom third of the order for Marshall coming up. 2-1. Here's a fly ball out into center. Kelsey McGuffin with the shades on makes the catch.
That sun can be brutal at times. I mean, especially here at Sioux Daughtridge. I mean, that sun, definitely having shades on and visors definitely needed.
And it's looking back towards that direction, too. High sky here, just a few clouds up. A fantastic day here weather-wise, heating up a little bit temperature-wise, but certainly not as warm as it's going to be. It's just going to keep getting warmer. Friday and Saturday, temperatures here in Charlotte going to be in the 90s for the first time this year. First pitch here to Triboulet. Downstairs for ball number 1.
AAA is definitely looking for something, waist up, try and make it bounce like she did earlier in the game, trying to find a way to be on first.
There's a strike on the outside corner. Counts even now at a ball and a strike. Triboulet finding her way to Huntington from France. Not quite sure how you do that.
I agree. That's tough, but
coming over to Marshall from Gulf Coast State. Ball and a strike. 2-1. You see Triboulet from the back of the box starting that slapping motion running forward as Smith goes out quickly to have a chat with Ike again.
Smith does a great job as a catcher, trying to keep her pitcher under control, let her know that she's all right, calm her down a little bit, give her some time to relax and work on getting this out.
5 1/3 for IQ so far. 1 run, 6 hits, couple of walks. She has tied a career high with 7 strikeouts here this afternoon. 2-1, slapped over to third. Engelhardt knocked it down, but that's all she could do with it. Triboulet is aboard with what should be her 3rd hit of the day.
That was a hard hit by Triboulet. There's not much you can do as Engelhardt. I mean, just chest it up and try and make the play, but it comes so fast there at third, you just kind of have to use your hands and keep it in front. She did a great job of staying in front of that.
It is an infield single, rightly so. Triboulet 3 for 3 on the day here for the Herd. That gives Jordan Cauliflower a chance to move her around the bases. First pitch here is downstairs for a ball. A walk in the second, a sacrifice back in the 4th. No official at-bat yet for Cauliflower here this afternoon. There's a strike from Ike. 1-1.
That was a tough one, Sometimes as a slapper you feel that inside higher pitch, it's harder to put down a bunt or even slap, and Cauliflower did a great job holding back on that one. I don't think she could have taken that one very far.
Here's a high chopper using the big bounce. The shortstop, Vaughn, throws to second. It's too late. Marshall with a couple of base runners trying to make things interesting here in the bottom of the 6th.
Again, taking advantage of this ground, bounces it over the third baseman's head. Vaughn doesn't have enough time to go 1, tries to go 2, and Triboulet's already there. I mean, that's a great job, great execution.
Heads up there by Vaughn to be backing up Engelhardt on the chopper to just get the glove on the ball. And then tried the quick throw to second, but by then it was too late. Now, we talked about the 3 straight slappers in the lineup for Marshall. Triboulet and Cauliflower have done their job here this afternoon a couple of times, including here in the 6th inning. Now here comes Alicia Dorazio. She's 1 for 3 here this afternoon. Her single was a chopper back in the 1st. Strike there to open up her 4th at-bat. I imagine Durazio's trying to do the same thing, trying to take advantage of the big bounces here at Dottridge Stadium. Get another base runner aboard for the heart of this Herd lineup. Now there's strike two. A bit up in the zone, but Ike got the call and is quickly ahead here, 0-2.
Ike did a great job bouncing back after 2 base hits in a row, finding a way to get ahead early here on Durazio and trying to find a way to get this next out.
Marshall has not gone down in order at all here this afternoon. They have gotten at least 4 hitters to the plate. Talked about that an inning ago when the Herd came up. 8 runners left on base so far through 5. 2 aboard here in the 6th inning. And as you mentioned, just that one hit. They just need something to go their way, perhaps down a line or a gap even, to try and get a run or 2 across and really build that momentum up and make this thing interesting going into the 7th inning.
I agree. Cauliflower definitely tried to string hits together. There's 2 in a row right there.
0-2 pitch is up and away to Durazio.
That's a good take by Durazio. Again, like we said, 0-2 count. It's hard not to swing at anything close like that, especially up.
This is your leadoff hitter. This is your senior. This is where you want your veteran player to make something happen. But instead, she takes strike 3. That is a new career high for Ike. Her 8th strikeout of the day. 2 gone.
That's a good pitch by Ike. Kind of stopped the momentum for Marshall. They had those 2 hits. Now she has a strikeout. It's back in her favor.
Ike, the sophomore. Cedar Falls, Iowa, getting the job done. Now a tapper back to the mound and an underhand flip to first. Strands 2 more base runners here in the 6th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 2 runners left on base. We go to the 7th. Western Kentucky holds a 5-1 lead over Marshall. Back here at Sue M. Dottridge Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Top of the 7th, Western Kentucky, the 8th seed, closing in on a trip to later on this evening to face Louisiana Tech at 5 o'clock. Marshall down to their final 3 outs at the plate. Going to have to find a way to scratch across at least 4, depending on what Western Kentucky does here in this 7th. Morgan McElroy going to lead things off. First pitch is in for a strike. 0-1. We were just talking during the break. Kaylee Williamson has been fantastic for Marshall. She's gone 7 up, 7 down since coming in, keeping Western Kentucky at bay and giving her offense at least a chance. Here's a little pop-up behind second. That one's going to sneak through into center. That's a leadoff single for McElroy. That's her 2nd. And the leadoff man aboard again for the Hilltoppers. That looked like a bit of a jam job there.
It did. I mean, she stayed through the ball enough, though, that it got through the infield, and she ran it through.
First hit and base runner against Williamson here. Kelsey McGuffin, the number 9 hitter, standing in. showing bunt and pushes it in front of the box. Called dead by plate umpire Troy Kuykendall. It hit her inside the box. So McGuffin will come back to the plate and try and do it again.
There was again. That is the disadvantage with the hard dirt. When she did try to bunt, came back up, hit her, but luckily she stayed in the box.
So we saw that McElroy earlier back in the fourth inning did that, and the ball bounced right up, hit her bat for a second time out of the box. Here's a pop-up, third base side. Nice feet first diving grab by Birch.
That was a great play by Birch. She saw it right off the bat, saw it was up in the air, had to make a play for a pitcher. That was a great job.
So also, McGuffin couldn't get the sacrifice down. Go ahead.
Also a great job by Williamson. Kind of throwing an upper pitch, try and make them pop up that bunt. That's a great pitch.
Jordan Thomas, top of the lineup for Western Kentucky, takes a first pitch inside for ball number 1. 1 for 3, Thomas this afternoon, but her one sailed over the wall in right. Her 6th home run of the year. Giving Western Kentucky their third of now 5 runs on the day. Here's a chopper to Harrell at first. She'll go to second for 1. Throw to first. Not in time. Thomas just able to beat it out. Marshall nearly getting the first double play of the day turn, but the inning will stay alive now for Maddie Bowles.
Harrell did a great job with that turn. Her feed was perfect. She found a way to get it to second, get that lead out. It's a great job.
Good quick turn down there at second base as well to give yourself a shot at the twin killing. But here comes Bowles. She's 1 for 3. She goes after the first pitch and fouls it off to the left side. Coming up in the bottom of the 7th for Marshall, it'll be Harold Dyson Radcliffe, the 3-4-5 part of the lineup. Coming up here for Marshall to try and keep their season alive. Off speed there upstairs, 1-1. Bolds with an infield single back in the first. And that was the deflection off of Tolbert's glove. She came around on the 2-run homer by Vaughn. 2-1 now.
She did a great job at finding a way to be on base for that home run to get them a 2-run lead.
Of course, we'll never know how it would have played out, but certainly you're going to give up a home run. A solo home run's a lot better than 2. Here's a little push to the left side. Misplayed by Birch there at third base. Everybody's safe. And Vaughn's going to get a crack at it here in the 7th.
Bowles did a great job with that. Took that outside pitch, slapped it just enough to where it bounced over Birch's glove to give them a chance.
Couldn't tell if that took a bad bounce, but it looked like Birch, maybe it took some sort of hard bounce as we talked about with the turf. You just saw her kind of come up really quickly on the glove side.
I think she stayed back kind of on her heels on that one. Maybe if she came up, could have had a chance to have a cleaner hop.
It is an error on Birch. Second of the day for Marshall as Vaughn takes the first pitch outside for ball number 1. Vaughn with the 2-run homer. Got everything going in the right direction for Western Kentucky here this afternoon. Just a few minutes into this ball game. 1-0 pitch, able to hold up and check her swing in time. 2-0. Now if you're Williamson, you got to be careful. You don't serve one right up here to Vaughn, knowing she's gone deep already once today.
Exactly. Williamson still keeping calm in the circle, trying to find a way to get this third out, help out Marshall so he can go in and hit.
2-0 smoked but fouled on the third baseline, out in front of it just a bit. But she did get a pitch to hit and may have just been just a couple of split seconds too soon.
Vaughn was definitely looking for something to hit out on that pitch. 2-0, looking for something to drive, try to bring in the runners with a 2-out rally.
2 in the first for Western, 1 in the third, 2 more in the fourth. There's a strike on the outside corner. It's 2-2. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. They've done a good job of getting the base runners in, stranding just 2 so far. Complete opposite for Marshall in a frustrating afternoon at the plate. 2-2 is swung and missed. First strikeout of the afternoon by Williamson, retires a side in the 7th, but we go to the home half. Western Kentucky 3 outs away from a date with Louisiana Tech later on this afternoon. Back here at Daughtridge Stadium, bottom of the 7th, last chance for Marshall. 5-1 Hilltoppers, riding the fantastic performance by Kelsey Ike in the circle here this afternoon with a career-high 8 strikeouts. But she's got to face the heart of the Marshall lineup one more time as Allie Harrell leads it off and takes the first pitch downstairs for ball number 1.
Ike's done a great job of keeping her composure. Even, when Marshall scored that one run, she kept her strikes down, kept in the zone.
Downstairs here for ball 2. Harrell was hit by a pitch in the first, doubled back in the third, which led to the only run so far for Marshall. And ground out to Vaughn at short, leading off the 5th. Here's a ball shot into center. Goodbye. Over top of the batter's eye, a no-doubter off the bat of Harrell. Marshall's to within 3. It's 5-2 here in the 7th.
That's a great swing by Harrell. 2-0 count. Something that was left down the middle. She drove it. That was definitely a goner.
For Harrell, that's her 11th home run of the season. Out over the plate. Just watch how far. Right off the crack of the bat, over top of the batter's eye.
I mean, she definitely stayed through the zone on that ball. She saw it all the way in, took it all the way out. That's a great job by Harrell.
One of the many reasons Harrell grabbing that Freshman of the Year honor in Conference USA. Here comes Brianna Dice taking a strike, 0-1.
I mean, that's the first time I've seen Dice take a strike. Usually she's swinging early in the count, ready to go.
0 for 3 here in the game. Here's a pop-up first base side over this way. Bowles up against the fence, collides with the fence, but can't squeeze it cleanly. Would have been a heck of a grab by Bowles, but perhaps the warning track crunching underneath her and that black chain link fence creeping up on her.
Yeah, she definitely had a chance to make a play there for Ike, but at the same time, she was getting close to the warning track, kind of got nervous.
She may get another chance over this way. Foul territory. Nope, that's off the top of the tent here. Good news is the tent is still up. There's no hole in the tent.
We were worried about that.
2 strikes here on Brianna Dice. Can't help but to wonder if Harrell's home run may be just a little too late now for Marshall. Outside, 1-2 now.
Well, Marshall's hoping maybe with Harrell's home run, this can get some momentum going. Dice still, fighting up at her at bat. 1-2 count. Got to look for something close, foul it off.
Still nobody out in this inning. Here's a fly ball into center. That may change right now as McGuffin drifts towards the gap and right to make the catch. 1 gone here in the 7th. Grayson Radcliffe will stand in. She's got 2 of Marshall's 9 hits. Marshall out hitting Western Kentucky 9-7 here this afternoon. But again, it's the left on base column that head coach Jen Steele won't want to look at afterwards, leaving 10 on so far.
Like we had said earlier, Marshall hadn't seemed to find a way to string the hits together. They got him on. Got him over, but couldn't seem to score him.
Radcliffe taking ball number 1. RBI single back in the 3rd. Single to center back in the 5th. That's downstairs. 2-0. Middle Tennessee and North Texas coming your way next here on BN Sports. This has been a good game to open up this 2018 tournament with. 2-0 pitch in for a strike, 2-1.
That's a good take by Radcliffe. That was one that was a little lower. She couldn't find a way to get on base with that one. I feel like with that take, she can finally wait for one that she can actually drive and get something going for Marshall.
2-1. Here's a little liner into right center. That's going to fall in for a base hit. Radcliffe has a 3-hit day. The herd just won't go away quietly. They're going to try and make some more noise here in this 7th inning.
There Radcliffe goes again, trying to find some momentum to build for Marshall. Rolled the barrel out on that one, found a way to poke it in the hole right there in right center.
Coach Steele coming down that third baseline, wanting to have a chat with home plate umpire Troy Kuykendall. Here's the base hit A little bit off the end of the bat, but placed perfectly out there in right center field.
Sometimes that's all it takes, you know. Just need a little bit of luck and a little bit of loving from softball gods to give you a little base hit right there to keep that momentum going.
As a hitter, you don't care how you get a hit, do you?
In the books, it goes as a base hit.
Absolutely. Rachel Rousseau going to come off the bench here and hit for Marshall in place of Blakely Birch. Birch was 0 for 2 with a walk and a couple of strikeouts. First pitch here is upstairs to Rousseau. Five for 20 on the year, 40 games, but just 20 at-bats, 4 doubles, 5 RBI. She could use that 5th double right here. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Counts out a ball and a strike. 10 hits now for Marshall. The Herd have been able to find base runners, but just a tough day, as you mentioned. Can't come up with the one big hit yet. Here's a pitch in the dirt, 2-1. And, of course, if you come up with a couple of hits here in the 7th inning, you can completely erase everything from the first 6 innings.
No doubt. I mean, the Herds are definitely not going down without a fight, and Rousseau's doing a great job as a pinch hitter to come in, find a way on base, working hard.
Here's a pop-up backing out of play. It's 2-2. And Ike in the circle for Western Kentucky. Man, she's been impressive. She's gotten herself into trouble from the very beginning. A couple of hit-by pitches in the first inning of back-to-back. And then used that as motivation to get back-to-back strikeouts. And it's been somewhat of an up-and-down day for the right-hander. Here's a pop-up over towards second. McElroy there to squeeze it. And now Marshall finds themselves down to their final out here this afternoon.
You know, even though there's 2 outs, I mean, they can still fight, try and find ways to get runners on, score them. It's not over yet. They still have one more chance to, you know, find a way to get on.
21st out is always the most difficult to get to try and close things out.
West Kentucky's done a great job defensively, not pressing too hard. They know they have the lead. They know they need to find a way to get this last out. Let Ike do her thing, and they'll be behind her.
Maddie Marshall, the last hope for the Herd to keep their 2018 season alive. First pitch is in for a strike. Ike trying to pick up her 12th victory of the season behind a career-high 8 strikeouts here this afternoon. Low and away, it's 1-1. 107 strikeouts on the year now for Ike. 1-1, swung and missed. It just looked like she blew it right by Marshall.
That was a great pitch by Ike. You know, that pitch definitely looked like it fell off the tables, had a lot of movement. Marshall definitely tried to stay behind it. She just kind of pulled her head a little bit. Not much she could do on that one.
1-2 pitch. Popped up out of play. Marshall keeping Marshall alive. Here at a ball and 2 strikes.
You know, Ike definitely at this time needs to keep her composure, find a way to get this last out. No, throw nothing too fine, just find a way to throw it by her.
1-2 is up and away. It's 2-2. Eloise Triboulet in the on-deck circle. 3 for 3 on the day. So Marshall certainly wanting Triboulet to get another shot at it here in this 7th inning. 2-2 pitch, just missed.
That was a close one, I do have to say. He's been kind of calling off and on those, but it's been both ways. So
it has been. It's been consistent. It's not been a strike most of the time, but it's been consistent both ways.
That's a close one. We'll see how Marshall reacts to this one.
No pitch bigger than this one. Popped up, out of play, right side. We'll do it again. Well, that third base Marshall dugout up against the rail. Not going down without a fight, just like you mentioned earlier. Ike trying to find a way to just grind through yet another inning and send her and the Hilltoppers to a 5 o'clock meeting with La Tech. Swung on and missed. There is strikeout number 9. Western Kentucky has defeated Marshall 5-2 here in the opener of the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championship, and will indeed move on to face Louisiana Tech at 5 o'clock here this afternoon. Boy, what a performance by Kelsey Ike.
I mean, she did a great job. She was consistent. She had a rough first inning, but then came back, helped out her defense, and then the offense did the work for her. I mean, it was a great job.
Final totals here for Western Kentucky: 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors, 4 runners left on base. For Marshall, 2 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. They had the hits, but they also left 11 runners on, including Radcliffe there in the 7th inning to round things out. Here in just a minute, Maddie Morris is down on the field. She will chat with head coach Amy Tudor here with Western Kentucky. North Texas and Middle Tennessee coming up. Maddie is down on the field right now with head coach Amy Tudor. Maddie?
Coach, congratulations. Big win for you guys. Obviously, you guys got up on them early, 2 in the top of the first. What did that provide for you guys to just keep going?
Yeah, when we get run support, I think it takes a little pressure off our sophomore pitcher. And I thought she threw a good game, but, our bats early set the tone. Vaughn, senior, only one on our team, gets up, hits that big hit. Good momentum starter.
You kind of talked about your pitcher, Kelsey Ike. She's coming off a big game against Florida International last week. How did you think of her performance today?
I thought she did excellent. I think she left maybe 2 pitches, and obviously the one that Allie Harrell got a hold of. But at that point, we had such a big lead. I thought she had a phenomenal appearance in the circle.
And then for you guys, you're not done today. You have one more game this evening against Louisiana Tech. What's the most important thing to kind of recuperate between now and then?
Come up with another game plan. Obviously, you had to get through Marshall first, and that was our approach. And everything, once you get into tournament time, is game by game. And so we'll have a plan, and we got to carry it out.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. We'll see you later on this evening. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Maddie. That'll wrap up Game 1 here from Charlotte as Western Kentucky defeats Marshall 5-2 and does indeed move on to play Louisiana Tech at 5 p.m. later on this afternoon. For my partner, Bethany Doty, Sean Fox here saying so long from Sue M. Daughtridge Stadium in Charlotte. North Texas and Middle Tennessee coming up next here on BN Sports Connect. Thanks for watching the 2018 Conference USA Softball Championships on BN Sports.